Israeli forces have killed at least 5 Palestinians near Jenin in the occupied West Bank. Footage has emerged of Israeli soldiers throwing at least 4 bodies off a rooftop in the town of Qabatiya. A warning, the pictures that we're about to play are distressing. So if you don't want to see them, now is the time to look away. On this footage, the soldiers can be seen pushing the bodies of 4 Palestinians off the building. The troops had surrounded the house during a raid. So again, this is in Qabatiya, which is near Jenin, where there have been numerous raids, sustained raids by Israel, and troops had surrounded a house and then fired anti-tank rifle grenades into the house. And now this footage has emerged of Israeli soldiers throwing the bodies of the people they presumably found inside the house off the building. We're joined by Mustafa Barghouti, Secretary General of the Palestinian National Initiative. He joins us via Skype from Doha, actually, today. Mustafa, thank you for your time. These pictures just came in. There are moments in this war, there have been a few of them now, where I should say as a preamble, we have become accustomed, unfortunately, to seeing death, right? And reporting on death on an almost daily basis. And there are moments in this conflict where just the emotional impact of footage sort of cuts through the noise, although that's not a great word to use. I wanted your reaction on this footage.
Well, this footage shows absolutely savage and inhuman behavior of Israeli soldiers. Not only they shot these people and left them bleed to death, they beat them with their boots, they humiliated their bodies, they mutilated their bodies, and then, as you said, they throw them from the rooftop to the ground. I don't know if they checked whether they were still alive or not when they did that. But this is such a savage behavior. And you cannot say that this is a part of the war because there is no war in the West Bank. There is war from one side, military actions from one side on civilian population. The West Bank does not have an army, does not have even a resistance force like Hamas that is fighting Israel. No. If there are some gunmen here and there, they don't represent an army. And what you see here is a grave violation of international law and of human rights. First of all, by this kind of use of military force against civilian population. Second, by this terrible behavior in such a town like Qabatiya today, where they besieged no less than 18 children in a kindergarten. Up till this moment, they are besieged with their teachers. They cannot go home since the morning. And they are besieging workers of the municipality, and they are besieging journalists who don't know what to do, because if they try to get out of the places they are in, they will be shot at. And it's absolute savage behavior by this Israeli army that feels absolutely unaccountable to anything, unaccountable to law, unaccountable to human rights, unaccountable to international law. They just do whatever they want, not only in Qabatiya, as they did today, but everywhere in the West Bank. Every day we hear of new crimes that they are committing.
Yeah, you raised the issue of accountability. I don't know what will happen as a result of this footage having been captured and now being aired. It is very rare that we see the Israeli army actually take to task some of its own soldiers. It happens occasionally, but it's very rare.
Yeah, but it's repeated many times, and there are cases that haven't been investigated. For instance, we have testimonies and reports of people in Gaza, medical people, who witnessed the Israeli army field executing people. And we are talking about hundreds of Palestinian prisoners who were field executed. This has never been reported sufficiently. It wasn't documented, but it happened. And the same thing applies to the torture in prisons. We've just lost another doctor, another medical doctor who was tortured to death in Israeli prisons. we are talking about 58 reported cases that the Israelis themselves admit that they were killed in the prison or that they died in prison. So you are talking about absolute terrible behavior. And I have such a number of records of the behavior of the Israeli army even before the war on Gaza, using dogs against civilian populations, shooting people while they are handcuffed and blindfolded, ordering an officer ordering a soldier to shoot a blindfolded and a handcuffed prisoner from the distance of 1.5 meters. I showed this video to so many people. So there is a whole record of the Israeli army behaving in such a horrible manner. And unfortunately, they will continue to do so as long as the world does not subject them to sanctions. And Palestinians are absolutely upset about this, not only the level of violation, but the level of silence, especially of Western countries and Western governments who were teaching us about human rights and democracy and international law and nonviolence, etc., etc., etc. And now, not a single punitive act against Israel, while Russia, for instance, is subjected to 11,000 sanctions in less than 2 months.
Mustafa Barghouti, Secretary General of the Palestinian National Initiative, thank you for joining us this hour.
Thank you.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.